I'm obviously David, and the attractive guy up there is my business partner, Lawrence. Together we sort of form the head of MonfiaConnect, I guess. And I was thinking today what we're going to actually be talking to you about, and unfortunately Lawrence couldn't make it this morning. And I figured instead of going into our personal history or where we've worked before, we've sort of end up in running this business together, I figured if you want to find out that, you're going to have to meet with us one-on-one in a game meeting. So that's another little referral there I'm throwing in now. Now, rather today, I really want to talk to you about really what MonfiaConnect does. And I think in order to do this, we actually need to go through a little bit more depth what exactly digital marketing is. Thanks, guys. And ultimately, if we have time, we're going to delve into where it's going. It's a changing field. It's going to be massively evolving over the next couple of years. And I really want to encourage you, when you think of how you interact with digital marketing, just think of where it's been 3 years ago and sort of think of the trajectory that we're on here. So the first question that we have to address is, what is digital marketing? Now, most of you being business owners, I'd assume that you would have some sort of concept of what marketing is, or at least I'd hope so. When we think of digital marketing, we really need to see it as a subset of marketing. That is, it's sort of this umbrella term for every sort of marketing that we do through digital means. But in particular, it has to do with the internet. Now, when we approach it, I think there's sort of two pitfalls that we can either fall into here. There's businesses I've seen quite a bit which either think that digital marketing really is nothing, it doesn't matter at all, or there's other businesses who think that all the marketing that they ever need to do is digital marketing. Now that might work for some industries, but 99.9% of the time we really need both. And so I think the correct idea of how we are meant to approach digital marketing here is to see it as an extension of the business that you already have, as an extension of the marketing that you already have going. Now, when I say extension, I don't mean peripheral. This is becoming more and more sort of key aspect of how customers make buying decisions and how they actually come to understand your product or your business or your services. Now, types of digital marketing obviously include SEO, website design, email marketing, digital advertising, blogging, social media, SEM, and really the list goes on. It's changing. In a year's time, this list will be different again. Now, I think here it's sort of important to note that digital marketing has a number of really key advantages which sets itself apart from more conventional marketing methods. Now, the first of which that we need to talk about here is targeting. When we get to conventional marketing methods, say for example you're driving along on a highway and you see a billboard up on the side of the road, you have in effect, or sorry, not maybe you, but a business has in effect paid for every single person to drive past and see that billboard, even though only maybe 2 or 3% of them could be prospective customers. Digital marketing, on the other hand, allows us to really hone in on specific demographics, geographical areas, behavioural areas as well. The whole internet, the way it's gearing up at the moment, is to try to understand people better. Now, I'm sure that you've sort of experienced this on some level, like you've gone to Gumtree or you've gone to eBay and you've searched for maybe a car or a tent or maybe a new shirt, and then for the next 2 weeks you've seen those ads everywhere you go on the internet thinking that someone's been stalking you. And what you have on your computer at that point in time is a tracking cookie. But businesses or online sites are aiming more and more, my slides aren't working, are aiming more and more to really hone in and target individuals. Facebook is actually boasting about becoming the biggest researcher into the field of AI, that is artificial intelligence. And at the moment, Facebook can tailor advertising to you based on what posts you put up and also on what photos you put up as well. If you post a video of yourself playing soccer on Facebook, Facebook now has the technology to figure out what type of sport is being played in that video and then base ads around what's happening there. This is really scary stuff, right? Which really brings us on to the big point of digital marketing. It's a way to really maximize ROI on your marketing budget. If you're only advertising to those people who want to see your ads or are likely to want to, buy your product or service, then you can massively save on marketing and really maximize that ROI. Which really brings us into the next key advantage here, which is data. Now, before targeting an audience, we naturally have to understand who that audience is. Now, digital marketing enables us to track pretty much everything. Everything you do on the internet, we can somehow get an idea of where you've been and what you look at. And I mean, there's ways to sort of hide this, but it really makes George Orwell's 1984 book look pretty soft. Digital marketing these days, you can track, for example, how effective a particular email headline is in getting people to open it or engage it. You can track exactly how people interact with your website, what they click on. You can even video them while they're on your website and understand better where they go. Yeah, it's true. And we'll set it up for you later. You can actually track, if you post a video into an email, how much someone has actually looked through that email, through that video, and whether or not they've gone back and opened that email again and again. This is really, really cool stuff. Scary, but really, really cool. And this is going to be increasing. Now, this is what I guess takes us into the area of what's this data all about. And ultimately, it's about understanding people, understanding how we think, how we tick, and really how we interact with technology. Now, to give you sort of one key example of a business that we've done a little bit of work for, I think it was about a few months back. This business had huge amounts of sales data recorded on App Store sales over a period of 3 years. Now, they didn't actually look into this data, or they didn't actually think that this data was important in any particular way. And one of the first things that we did with their data was to run a few regression analyses on it, to figure out exactly their price elasticity of the sales, to figure out exactly when was the best time to run a particular sale, or what was the most effective discounts to converting customers online. And the effects of this were to more or less very, very quickly increase the profit of this channel that they had previously running for 3 years within the space of about a week. Now, that's just really one sort of example of how powerful data can be. And when we think of Google AdWords, Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, these companies are doing those hard yards for us. We're not having to go out there and do all this sort of analysis on huge data sets. These companies are doing it for us in such a way that they're providing products to us where we can easily take advantage of that research already done. Which sort of brings us into the next point of what we do at MonfiaConnect. Now, the answer is actually really quite simple. MonfiaConnect builds a business's online presence. And the way in which we do this, or aim to do this, is by taking a certain approach known as the integrated approach. So this includes things like website design and email campaigns and all those aspects of digital marketing that I mentioned up there earlier. And the goal of it is to really make the website the cornerstone of your digital online presence. All things will come out from your website. Your website, if it's bad, it won't be converting customers. It doesn't matter how many AdWord campaigns you have. It doesn't matter how much money you're pouring into SEO or into Facebook. If you're not portraying your business well online, if you're not working on this idea of UX, which is user experience, through the design of your website, then you're not going to be converting potential customers into clients. Gee, that comes around quick, eh? So, to sort of take you through the idea or a bit of the process in which we go through with working with the company. Now, we do work with sort of clients at all different stages of, their online presence, whether or not they already have a website or they don't have a website. But to sort of give you an idea of how we'd start with someone who doesn't have a website, who wants to go online and take their business online for the first time, or maybe go out there and get and redo it. We'll sort of walk through those steps now. Now, the first things we do when it comes to looking at a business is to really look at and try and understand their particular market. Try and understand, say for example, if they're selling in the Armidale region, we want to know how many people are looking for those products in the Armidale region online. We want to know what sort of online community or business is already established around that particular product. So along with looking at search volumes, we'd also look at trends or seasonality, see if there's any of that there. We'd also be looking at, is there a competition in this area? Are people paying currently to target those ads locally or regionally or by state? So this is sort of the first process of really coming to understand a business. And this is also the key to really optimizing the SEO and the SEM, the keywords later on, the products and the content which they should be making later on to really maximize their online presence. Really what we want to be targeting here is what people are looking for, and especially things which aren't already being served. Now, the next aspect of it is design. Now, I mentioned this a little bit earlier, but if your design is rubbish, you probably won't be making sales online. I had an experience with a store a little while ago where they weren't making any sales. They changed the design of their online store and they started converting customers again. I mean, this is pretty simple stuff. If you go into a really average looking store, obviously you're not going to be as confident that they can provide to you the level of service and the level of expertise that you want. It's the same for online shops. Every aspect of it needs to be 100% in order to boost that client confidence. I've got up here a quick example of the My Car sound website that we put together the other day, but I really actually love this website, mainly because every aspect of it is designed to get you to information as quick as possible and to get search engines to that information as quick as possible. It's not, no fluffing around. It's meant to be as easy and intuitive to use as possible, while at the same time maintaining that branding of their business that they've already established for years and years. Never use an iPad for this, so keep on zooming in. After design, we have delivery. Now, this is the thing which actually astounds me the most about digital marketing or about website design companies out there these days. A lot of website design companies will give you a website and then leave you high and dry. They won't help you get that website to where it needs to be. Does that make sense? If we don't have methods for how people are going to get to our websites, essentially it's like having a business card and not giving it to anyone. This is the next aspect of digital marketing which we go into, which is based on the research and the reporting early done in the process. And what we aim to do is extend their website presence through Twitter, through Facebook, through YouTube, through every means in which their customers want the information delivered to them. When we look at the internet, it's all about delivering information as quickly as possible. This is what Google's entire business model is built upon. I was talking to a client just the other day and they were saying that they were watching this TED Talk and the speaker got up there and said, all the business owners in the room, if you do not have a website, put your hand up. And if you ask that question in Australia amongst a group of SMEs or small to medium enterprise owners, about 45%, nearly half of the people in the room would have put their hand up. And this speaker's response was, it doesn't matter if you get a website now, you will not be here in 3 years' time. You're already finished, was essentially his point. Now, without actually knowing who the speaker was, I have to respectfully disagree. Apple wasn't the first company to make an iPhone. Google wasn't the first company to make a search engine. Microsoft wasn't the first company to make an operating system. Tesla wasn't the first company to make an electric car. There are startups online all the time, and there's no reason on the online world why you can't actually be the best, why you can't actually be doing it better than what other companies are already doing it at. Just because we're regional, just because we're smaller businesses, doesn't mean that we can't actually compete with larger businesses already online.